Well, hello friends. Today we're going to work on the Hack Studio a little bit once again, and I figured we would try to do some brace matching. And what I mean by that is that when you put the cursor next to one of these curlies here, then we would light up this one down here so that you see which one matches it. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but I figured we'll just start and then we'll work out how to do it as we go. And yeah, so it's not really any different from any other video. So I guess we'll start by looking at where we highlight this stuff. So we do the syntax highlighting where we turn the document into C++ tokens. So we do, we run the C++ lexer, which gives us a stream of tokens, or actually it gives us more like a vector of tokens, but we could think of it as a stream. And in that stream, there will be a bunch of left curly and right curly tokens. So I'm kind of thinking one thing we could do is we could remember where these are, and we could sort of think of them as scope boundaries, or we could also like have some kind of a hook notify us when the cursor moves in the text editor, and then we could say like, hey, is the cursor now touching either a left or a right curly brace, and if so, just work out who his partner is and take it from there. Maybe that's the most straightforward approach, actually. So let's try that. Right now we don't remember our tokens, so I guess that would be something that would be interesting. Just keeping them around, I guess. So let's see, where could we store these? All we have is document spans. But maybe they could have a pairable functionality, like you could have such a thing as a pair span that's part of a logical pair, and you would sort of have an index, like an arbitrary, you could store arbitrary data with a span, maybe. Maybe that would be the logical extension here, because otherwise we're taking too much C++ specific stuff and adding it to the document span. But at this point, maybe we should just have like an arbitrary data field, which would be like a void star data, and you can use this for whatever you like, and we will keep it around for you. Okay, so let's do that. And then when we create these spans, we can set that data to I don't know, like token m type. Oh, we can store the token m type in there, actually. Isn't that easy? So that will allow us to figure out the CPP token for a given document span. That's, I think that's fair enough. So that means that now we need to hook whenever you move the cursor. So where do we create the editor? That will be in the editor wrapper class. We have the mEditor object, which is an editor which inherits from dtextEditor. I already forgot what this thing does. Oh, right, yeah, it's documentation tooltip and stuff like that. Well, this would be a perfect place to put our logic for matching braces. So I guess we can do something like what kind of notifications do we have? On cursor change, are we using that already? Yes, we are. So who's calling it? This editor wrapper is hooking this, because we don't allow multiple hooks, or you can't hook the same thing twice. Because it's just implemented as a public function member. I really like this style of programming, by the way. Like, I was a bit weirded out by it when I started using it, but I've grown to like it so much because in Qt, for instance, you can have like any number of slots and signals connected to each other, and you can connect signals to signals and make forwarding signals and all kinds of things you can do. And it's very flexible, but it's also really hard to understand what's happening in your program. Whereas this stuff, it's like, it's limited, but it's also dead simple, which I really like this style of hooks. But now we run into the typical problem with these hooks, which is that somebody already hooked the thing that we're interested in. It's the main issue. So this is the wrong program, but here an editor wrapper. So editor wrapper uses this to update its little cursor view or cursor label or whatever. It's this thing right here. You can see, like, when I'm moving the cursor, then this thing updates. That's what we use that hook for. So we have two options. Either we make our own. We can hide this hook in our subclass and publish our own hook. That's one option. Another option is to do the thing in here in the callback, an editor wrapper. Maybe that's okay. And a third option would be to make this a subclassing issue so that subclasses of GText will also be notified when the cursor is going to change. We could imagine doing something like that. So you could have a cursor change, and then you could do something here also like cursor change event, maybe, I don't know, something like that. Cursor change event. Cursor did change. Maybe we can do that, actually. That's not half bad. Let's try it. So that would be protected. Cursor did change. By default, does nothing. Yep, and then in our editor class, maybe this is a good way to solve this type of issue, actually. Because then we shouldn't be using the hooks internally in subclasses anyway, because that really screws up using the subclass in a parent class context. So gotta experiment a little bit with this, but I guess I kind of like the general idea of it. Although the ambiguity of having like the hook and the virtual, I don't like that part. Anyways, cursor did change, right? So we'll override that, and in editor CPP, cursor did change. Okay, so now we know that the cursor has moved. Time to look at the spans and figure out if we have moved it next to a curly brace. So I think first thing is that if we have a selection, we'll just ignore this, because I think, like, if you're selecting, then do you want curly braces to light up? Oh, this one does, actually. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it does do that. All right, fine. Maybe it's not the end of the world then. I'm proudly using QCreator as my thing to imitate here, because I'm so used to it and I love it so much. But I know that it's not going to be me and you forever, QCreator. So I gotta steal your best features. And this is one I like, so I guess we gotta iterate over the spans then. So auto span document spans. And we gotta find the span that we are touching. So how does it work here? Like if you write up close to one, but not on the right side of it, but on the left side of the left curly, then it lights up the matching one. But you have to be on the right side of a right curly. That makes a lot of sense, I guess. So let's try to do that. If span range contains, actually, start where is the cursor? Here. If it starts exactly where the cursor is, and span data, I guess we'll just do this, CVP token, we need to include that. CPP token type, left curly. It's a C-style cast from Void Star. How about you just let me do what I want to do, dude? All right. No? I'm still not allowed to do this? I am so not good at knowing the rules for this type of stuff. So, auto token type. Let me, let's see, how do we convince him to give it to us? U32 data is span data. Give me the data. Okay, so auto token type is CP token type. Well, I'm not ashamed of doing that, but maybe I can be a little bit of a good boy and do that, or maybe even super good boy and do that. Okay, and token type is left curly. Then we should look for a right curly and light him up. Return. Span range ends on my cursor, and the token type is a right curly. Then look backwards for a left curly and light him up. All right. So I guess we just need some way to find the next span with a type. So let's do this using an iterator variable instead. I mean, like an index variable. Document spans size ++i. Document spans at I. All right, so then we can make ourselves a little helperoo. Scan or find next span matching, and this will take I guess take the I and find next span of type, say. Okay, and then the type is going to be CPP token type. Okay, and here let's say buddy span. Buddy span is, or just a buddy. Hey buddy. Starting at I +1, I guess. Or we can do like that. Right curly. If buddy, this thing is going to return a gtext document span. And then we can say if it, oh, actually, should return a pointer because it can fail. So if we do find him, then we'll say buddy. I don't know. We'll do something with the color maybe. Or why don't we make it bold? Default bold font. See if this works at all. Okay, and then let's do the scanning. So document spans size ++i. So we'll start at like this. Oh, I can write it like this actually. So if span data, oh, we gotta do this guy again. If token type is if span token type is type, then return span. Span, of course, is document spans at I. And is that a const? Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to just brutally unconst you. Okay, so that would be the forward iteration. And as you may know, for fun around here, we like to iterate backwards. So let's do that as well. That would be greater than or equal to 0. And other than that, they're the same. So and if that happens, then we'll just do an update. Okay, well, this is some very strange code, but let's try it out. Lib GUI, I don't even know. I'm not even changing lib GUI. Or wait, no, I am. DevTools, Hack Studio, clean, and sync and run. All right. Should probably call it find previous here. Yeah. Was I fast enough? No, I was not. Okay. Should set this up to open the CPP file by default. Oh, look at that, he got bold. Oh shit, that's cool. All right, let's see if we can make this guy appear bold by going to the end of this one. Oh, that didn't work. Dang it. All right, all right. Yeah, so we can like undo it by just causing a rehighlight. So I'm at the start of the span, but it doesn't, I mean, I'm at the end of the span and it doesn't react. If we go to the start of it, it reacts. So that's what we want. Maybe we want something flashier, but like I think right now this is pretty good. But how are we going to make this guy care? And why doesn't he? And how have I messed it up? Because I'm looking for the previous right curly. See? I'm silly. All right. Boom. Boom. Okay, so if I'm at the start of it, then it lights this one up. And range end is cursor. Also, this is obviously not correct, by the way, because it's not going to work with nesting, but we'll get to that. But let's just work out why this thing is... Okay, I'm just going to change it so that it opens main CPP here instead, because it's annoying with form designer coming up all the time. Okay, so clickety here, no good. Here, it lights up this guy. Why does it do that? Maybe the span starts and ends on the same character, actually. So let's see what it says here. Debug. Right curly found at span range. I think maybe these spans are, I mean, obviously they're single character, right? So here's not found, but here it is. So it's set, oh, it's from 8.0 to 8.0. So this span does not, this is not considered part of the span. So in this case, we gotta look at, is the next thing right after this? I guess we can change this around and say like this, because, oops, this makes it a bit more interesting anyway. We don't need to compare the cursor position if we're not looking at the right span type. So let's see, it's a right curly. We don't have any way to modify this guy right here. Auto range +1, I guess. Span range set out end set column range +1 and right of end. Let's call this right of end. Set column span right of end column +1. So if this is the cursor, then we should do the right thing. Oop. Yep. And yeah. But so the interesting thing now is like, what if you have like these? Then this thing will light this thing up. So that's definitely wrong. So I'm thinking what we should do is, while we're scanning, for every one of these that we encounter, we like, I guess, increment some nesting counter, and we decrement when we find one of these, and we only match when we get when we find one of these. Our nesting level is 0. So let's see. I guess we can do something like this. This is a bit silly that I'm writing this out twice here, but whatever. So not type, and then span token type, nesting level 0. If span token type not type plus nesting level, else, and nesting level is 0. Or rather, so if we find the wrong type, we nest. Otherwise, if we find the right type, I guess we can do it like that. So we'll unnest, and if we are 0 or less, then we'll return. Yeah, pretty good. Well, why is this so crap? Oh, because I didn't declare nesting level here. All right. It's disgusting how similar these two are. Oh, I have to say the not type. CPP token type left curly. All right, and let's put some of these guys right here. All right, so that doesn't work at all, does it? Oh, this one matches this one. Okay, that's cool. This one matches this one. That's also cool. Wait, so how did I mess? I messed it up by typing left curly twice here. Okay, why? Why are these things this way sometimes? It's like I'm a great example of why deduplicating code is a good thing, because if I write the same code twice like this, then I make little mistakes. And probably you do too. I think maybe we all do. Okay, so now it's lighting up the right ones. That's pretty cool. And we can re-highlight by doing that. It's lighting up that one, that one. What if I do this? Now there's too many of them. There's no way to light up that top guy, except if we do that. But it didn't happen when I typed it out. Maybe we don't get a cursor change when you're typing. No, we seem to, because we update up here. Type. Anyways, it's something that we should fix. But now these are at least matching up all right. So now we should probably like let it go if you step away from it. So Like if I do this, I don't want this thing to be highlighted anymore. So how are we going to do that? And also, let's tweak our test file. So that it has a little bit of nesting. Maybe we'll do a cool loop or something. Something like that. Something like this. And maybe we'll just include this stat.h because it's annoying that it doesn't compile by default. And why is my nose so itchy today? Ah. Anyway. Okay. So go to the left of this, it lights this up. Very cool. Go to the right of it, and it lights the other guy up. Okay. So, wait, did it happen if I just place the cursor with a click? Yes, it does. All right. So now we want to forget any highlighted one where you move the cursor. How do we do that? I guess we could remember the we could remember a pointer to the span, but that's a bit icky because the spans are just value types in a vector. So pointing at something like this is not really cool. So maybe we can remember the index of the span that we've match highlighted, or whatever we could call it. Match highlight, matching buddy span. Call it the buddy span index, default -1. And if we have a buddy span index, then let's clear it, and we'll say mbuddy if document spans. If it's valid, mbuddy span index is greater than or equal to 0, and mbuddy span index is less than document span size. Then document spans size. Buddy span index. How do we restore the original beautiful state? Maybe we'll make a copy of it. Why don't we make a copy? That's pretty cool. Text document span original buddy span. Buddy span backup. Something like that. Okay, and then we can just put the backup there. Buddy span backup. The fact that it has a font star makes me slightly nervous, but at the same time, maybe we can just live with it for now. There is no, I can't assign to the spans. Well, I'm gonna need to be allowed to do a naughty thing here, so set span at, maybe we should just maybe we'll just expose the spans like this. Who's going to stop me? Okay. Now you're screwing directly with the spans vector. I don't like this API. This is so gross. Let's have it something span at index. Set span at index. Int index. We'll just do it this way. And then we'll say if m index is greater than 0, or no, m spans index is span. This doesn't have to be fancy, but let's just do it this way. Then this can assert if it wants, but at least we don't have some API to give you a mutable reference to the vector that you can just go crazy with, because we don't want you going crazy with that vector. So we'll just say buddy span index and buddy span backup. Okay. And when we match something, then we want to make a backup. So buddy span backup is buddy, and buddy span index is I. I mean, it's the I of the buddy, so we got to make sure that we are updating this one. So let's do it this way. This is slightly gnarly, but it's also kind of neat. Okay. Cursor did change. And I guess if we are unbuddying, then we will trigger an update every time that this happens, because that means that if you move away from having a matching curly to not having a matching curly, we'll still repaint. Man, the text editor widget is getting so like repaint heavy, but this is not really the time to start worrying about that. It's more like a future thing, because now we have so many features that we need to add to it anyway. Okay, look at that. Frickin' matching the brace. It would be kind of cool if it would render it with a different background. Maybe we should do the current one in the same style so that they sort of light up together. I think that would make sense. Buddy span index. So maybe they should be buddies. So struct buddy span. Int and buddy, or let's just call it index -1 and text document span backup. Okay, and then we'll have buddy span and buddies 2. All right, and then we can do something like a Boolean has buddies. Yeah, that's okay. So if m has buddies, then if buddy 0, then if that's valid, then m buddy 0. We just restore him from backup and backup. And then we do the same for 1. All right. And oh, here we got to say dot index. M has buddies false. All right. And then here, if we find a buddy, then and has buddies true. But then we gotta keep the first index as well. So maybe this thing should return an index instead. So we'll return the index or -1 for the found thing. So here we'll return I. I doesn't need to be a reference anymore. We do the same thing here. Return -1 for not found. And then buddy 0 is index is, that's me. I mean, that's where we are right now with the cursor. And the span backup is the span. And then buddies is, maybe we're gonna rename buddies at some point to something different. So sit tight, but span backup is going to be documents and buddy. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll do this here, auto buddy span. Span dot font. I can't assign to it because it is const. Right, so gtext documents span. Okay, now that's pretty hairy, but let's do the same thing here. Do that. No, wait, not all of that, just this. Okay. Oh, forgot to actually change the, this span to bold as well. Poof. Oh, look at it. It's so pretty. They light up together. Now, this makes me wish that, makes me wish that we could have a background color for spans. So maybe we can just see if we can do that. Gtext documents span. Color, background color, because why not? Who's going to stop us? Maybe it will be default to something. Maybe it will be optional. Maybe optional is good. But if we do set one, which we will in editor CPP, we'll just say you guys are going to have a cool background. Like, let's see, maybe we should just const cast up here. Makes this a little easier. Span background color is color. Do we have some cool color? Dark red. Span color. Okay, let's do this to both of them. It's going to be so sweet. Damn, this is getting so redundant here, but one thing at a time. And then text editor it's gonna have to respect this somehow. So in paint event of the gtext editor, let's see, where do we look at the spans? This is horribly inefficient. Well, that sounds like it has to do with spans. Okay, so this is where we get the font and the color to use. Right. So, optional. I guess optional background color? Optional color, background color. Background color is span background color. If background color has value, then painter fill rect. Character rect, background color value. All right. Will this work? Who knows? Would be cool though. We're running out of tea here, but I have a multivitamin going on. Back up. Oh, look at that shit. Holy moly. That is very noticeable. But it does look super awesome. So that's nice. Damn, dude. And if you do that, then it takes a selection code path instead. I think that's okay. But maybe this is like kind of an aggressive style. We could. What would be good looking for this? What does QCreator do? Just kind of a dark cyan background. It's a bit boring, isn't it? What would Vim do? Dark cyan background. What's with dark cyan? It's so boring. But maybe it's the objectively best color. I don't know. Let's try it. Do we have dark cyan? We don't. Dang it. All right. Do we have cyan? Let's go and define ourselves some cyan. It's weird that we don't have dark cyan anyway. So let's just invent it. I guess that would be like 127, 127. Dark cyan. Let's put that next to dark green. Maybe we should have a mid cyan too. I don't know. Mid cyan. Why not? This feels like it should be something other than a switch statement. Say 192, I think it's usually the mid. Yeah. Let's try dark cyan. Dark cyan, dark cyan, both. This is supposedly state-of-the-art Vim and QCreator color scheme, so let's see how it looks. Neither of those guys bold the font, by the way, like we're doing. Maybe that's what makes it feel so aggressive. Of course, now we're rebuilding everything because we changed the color.h, which makes me realize we have to rebuild libdraw as well. But we are almost back to normal. Oof. Ah, dude, that looks so slick. Maybe we can live without the bold. Let's try without the bold. Span font. We'll just not set the fonts. Doing the important experiments here. Got to figure out the right way. Oh, okay, that looks really, it's really not bad at all. Okay, maybe these other guys are onto something with the cyan. Let's try mid cyan. White on mid cyan. I got a good feeling about that one. Okay, maybe my good feeling was a little too soon. It's a bit weird. If we kept the black, it might look better. Damn, that's so sweet. Let's stick with the dark cyan. Dark cyan is where it's at. Okay, so first thing we're going to do here is, I think, just commit the changes to text editor, or text document rather, because that was just adding some members to the span and adding an API to set span at index, and we can also do text editor. I mean, it's a little mishmash here of all kinds of things, so. Okay, hold on. Let's tweak this little program first. Make this build by default and add some curlies. Yeah, and then we can do the color changes. Draw, add color, named colors, mid cyan and dark cyan. Need these for a thing. I don't know what that was. And buddies pants. That's such a weird name for that. This code is so sticky, icky. So let's try to fix this up a little bit here. So maybe we'll call these brace buddies or something. Maybe that's a better name for it. Buddies, brace buddies, I think, because then at least we know that it's about braces. And then this code here is so smelly. So if we find let's see, make buddies. Index 1, index 2, something like that. And that will be I and buddy. And there we do this. Buddy 1 is buddy 2. Index 1. And buddy 1, index 2, buddy 2, and just for clarity, let's do this since we're indexing into this array here. Having a 1-based index in the variable name and a 0-based index in the array is slightly confusing. So let's not change the font, and body 1. Something like that. It's pretty good. I just got these guys right here. All right. Then make buddies and return. And likewise here, make buddies, I and buddy. Okay. That does seem a lot nicer already. All this stuff up here is pretty unfortunate. I gotta make it work when we're typing also. So find next and find previous. The only thing that's different is the iteration. Let's see. This type of thing, why is it so tricky? Okay, I just want to control the direction of the loop. So I guess pull forward, and then if forward plus I, otherwise minus I, and forward, then this condition, otherwise I is this condition, and then if forward this, otherwise that. I guess we can bake it in here too, actually. So forward plus I, otherwise minus I. All right. Then we'll just do return, find span of type, I type, not type, true for forward. False for backward. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I guess we can even do like direction forward, backward, and we'll say direction forward is direction forward. Like that, because then we can just write this out as find span direction forward and find span of type direction backward. get rid of those, and starting to look a little bit more tidy here. And still working out right nice. Okay, so let's commit this. I guess in one big go, studio plus libgui. Implement curly brace, visual curly brace highlighting, matching curly brace highlighting. This works by caching. This works for C++ syntax text documents by caching the C++ token type in a new arbitrary data member of text document span. That's neat. So when the cursor is placed immediately before a or immediately after we highlight both the brace buddies. Both of these brace buddies by changing their corresponding spans to have a different background color. And gtext editor and spans can also have a custom background color. That's cool. So let's see if we can do parentheses as well. So I guess when we're scanning like this, we can just say, if we find a left paren, we can look for a right paren and not a left paren. Then we'll do the same with right paren, look for a left paren backwards and not a right paren. Oh, look at that shit. How cool is that? Ha ha ha. That just worked. All right, that's super awesome. It's really, really good. So let's see how this goes if we do something like that. Of course, it doesn't work yet, but that's really neat. So we got to make it work when you're typing. So let's commit this. So, Hack Studio, highlight matching parentheses as well. This can just piggyback on the code I just wrote for curly braces. But while I'm typing, this is because we re-highlight in response to typing. Let's see. So current editor onChange, then we do a re-highlight. When is onChange dispatched? I guess, onChange is an asynchronous thing that that gtext editor will send out because it will like coalesce multiple on-change notifications so that you don't spam the client with them. So when we get on-change, we probably already sent out the cursor update notification. So I think if we re-highlight, we're gonna have to reevaluate if we are next to a curly or paren. So how do we do that in a nice way? Let's see, re-highlight. I guess we do current editor set spans, blah, blah, blah. Right after here would be the right place. So current editor. And I happen to know that it's going to be one of my editors. So I'm just going to cowboy cast it to editor and do a notify did re-highlight. I would say did re-highlight, something like that. Did re-highlight. Maybe notify did re-highlight. Yeah. Okay, and in that thing, let's say highlight matching curly or paren. Curlies or parens. And we'll put this in a separate function. Okay, something like that. Now we'll be able to do this curly / paren matching immediately after we re-highlight. So after we re-highlight whenever you're typing. So if I do this, yes, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's really, really sweet. But that's also really, really weird. What the frick? Wait, it still thinks that, oh shit. So it had the wrong, it still thinks that there is a, oh, I'm not re-highlighting when I'm backspacing? I am. Wait, what? But it still thinks that there is a, it still thinks that there is a paren here. Why is that? I am confused. This feels like it's some kind of, maybe some kind of a race condition because of the asynchronous nature of the frickin' on-change callback. So you change, you re-highlight, and then you do the match. Has brace buddies. We always clear it when we get here. I feel like when we re-highlight, we should also do this. When we re-highlight, we should throw away whatever we think we know about this stuff. So how do we do that? And so I guess this is more specific to the cursor moving, because in this case, we always want to just throw away this brace buddies false. Yeah, that's more like it. All right, that's pretty cool. So we just set it up now so that recheck, always re-highlight matching curly's parens after a relax. Rematch curly's parens after a re-highlight. It's a bit confusing, but like after, while you are typing in Hack Studio, we relax the C++ as you go, as you type. So this means we also need to keep rechecking for matching curlies and parentheses at the cursor. And I think this will basically make this feature complete, because I found a bug about this a while ago while I was using the Hack Studio to make the little frame that I'm currently in. I wrote a bug about that here. Have an optional mode that lights up matching guys. It's not optional because it's too awesome. So fixes 769. Let's say that. Although it's not optional because it's too cool. Okay. This is freaking nice. I love this so much. Look at it. Look at a match. It's just matching those. Okay, so love it. I think that's going to be it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for hanging out while we match curlies and parens. I hope you saw something interesting here, and I will see you next time. Bye.